All right, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to the Robb Crocker Show. My name is Alexander Gonzalez. With me in the studio today, we have JB, the usual, and special guest, who's not really a special guest, Don Miller.
Did you just give your whole government name?
Oh, you know what? Let me switch this up.
You just gave your
All right,
government.
guys.
Government, not government.
Don Miller,
Yes, sir.
you are the better half.
Can you bring
of
me up?
It
Yes,
is
sir.
not black, it is white.
Huh?
Oh, okay. Don't worry.
Okay, go ahead, man.
If it's not black, it's white. That's why I asked you to come on tonight.
Okay, go for it.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about, and I needed your contrary side to mine,
Okay,
where
okay.
I'm not always right.
Go ahead, man. What's going on? Talk to me. What's on your mind?
We've had a busy week. I got sick. I'm sorry I missed last week, and it's pretty scary to where when you are coughing and you think you are drowning internally.
Dang.
So I've decided that's one way I do not want to die.
Well, this is because you didn't get your COVID vaccine.
Is that
Ironically,
true?
I did get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, and the reason I did get that vaccine is because when I was a little baby, they put baby oil on me, Johnson & Johnson.
Did you
They
say?
put baby powder on me, Johnson & Johnson.
What kind of oil?
I did not die, so that's why I went with the Johnson & Johnson. But I will never get another vaccine
10W30.
as long as I live.
Okay,
Follow
okay.
your own doctor's advice. Don't follow Crocker's advice.
Did he say baby oil or
Or
Diddy
Diddy
I
oil?
need to click on.
Johnson & Johnson baby oil.
Okay,
Don
okay.
Miller knows about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very familiar with it. Diddy
Baby
had a lot of it at the house.
Diddy's fixing to go down, buddy, and so are a lot of other people.
I hope so.
There we go.
But it's been a sad week for many reasons. The government is lying to us. School shooting. Don and I have had a conversation many times. Schools in bad areas have metal detectors. I think we've come to the conclusion now, another school shooting, with the amount of money that we send to overseas and to everybody else, there's no reason any school where young children go to does not have metal detectors. And I also think they should implement the same policy they have at NFL stadiums, that all backpacks, pocketbooks should be clear bags. There you go, Don. Bring it on.
I've been saying that for a long ass time. It's these white folk that don't want to do it because they want the children to have privacy. You ain't got no damn privacy. You're a child. No child should have privacy when it comes to safety. All right,
How
gone.
many
That's
times have we
absolute
talked
nonsense.
about bedroom doors coming off to where I want to know what my children are doing.
Okay, listen to me. I get what you're saying. I support what you're saying. Gonzo, you know this as well as my friend sitting next to me. Listen, guys, every urban school in this country, in real cities, got metal detectors. Why is that? And they don't have school shootings. Why?
Why that?
Because they know they don't have privacy. They're two Americas. After what happened in South Florida and what happened in Nashville, there should be a whole movement about every school in America, especially any school that has received any level of government funding, charter schools,
Yeah.
that there shouldn't even be a question, should they have metal detectors? But guess what? Little white kids want privacy.
It should
I'm
be metal,
tired of hearing about little white kids.
But that's the reason. You tell me another reason.
it should be metal detectors
It's
and
not
a
the
fence around the
kids,
entire
Miller.
school
It's the
itself.
parents.
It is
It's
the parents. You're right. They want their children.
It starts at home. Yeah.
That's a violation of their rights to be able to check their bags when they go to school. Right?
Criminality in this country is driven by the parents. I'm so sick of a 15-year-old girl, of 16, 17-year-old kids getting in cars, going into the intersection at John Young Parkway in Orlando, Florida, and creating chaos, videoing it, and there's no consequences. Y'all saw that, did you not?
No.
You didn't see that happen in Orlando?
What happened?
Last week, John Young Parkway was overtaken by cars.
A motorcycle group or something?
No,
No, it
cars.
was cars.
What were they doing?
They were doing,
Gonzo, did you see it?
Donuts?
yeah, donuts and just being fools, like not even racing or anything.
Really?
Just kind of, yeah.
But they're looking for them now, aren't they? I heard they asked for people, if you know
Yes.
somebody involved, please report them. Yeah.
But they're looking. What happens when they get caught? What's the consequence?
What do you think should happen to them, Crocker?
I think if they're under 18, they should all be put in a position to where they have a choice. They pay their fines, and they either go to military school or they're put in a position to where they learn consequence. Whether they have to visit the federal penitentiary there in the center of Orlando where Sparky is, they need to see what happens to people.
But Crocker, the people who are stupid enough to do that,
Probably don't care.
They don't care.
Yeah, they don't
That's
care.
the last thing they're thinking about. If you're stupid enough to do donuts in the middle of one of the busiest intersections in Central Florida,
Yeah.
not Orlando, Central Florida, from here to Tampa, to Daytona, John Young Parkway, the numbers are staggering. The amount of cars that run through there every day. They don't care. They don't care. They're not afraid of the police. They're definitely not afraid of the police.
And why is that, Don? Because the police have been put in a position to where I don't think children respect anyone at an age. I grew up in a time to where elders and anyone who had any authority, it was yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am.
Yeah.
And I don't think children today respect their teachers. And I think what JB said earlier starts at home.
Yeah.
And they've been allowed to, with their behavior, to be acceptable.
I think part of the issue is with so much access and exposure to certain media through social media, television, all that, kids have been essentially, their thinking has changed. They believe that they don't have to be held accountable for their actions. They think they can do certain things and not get consequences from it, or that the consequences won't be as big of a deal as they actually are, whether that's from Hollywood movies, whether it's from people talking about it on social media, or just the need for attention these days to try and fill some sort of hole. All of that is contributing to people not realizing that these things they're doing are dangerous to either themselves or other people, and they don't realize that the consequences can be very, very drastic.
And I agree with you. And I would like to use an example. Look at all these fools, these absolute morons, these idiots that are out here raising money for rich ass Luigi. Luigi don't need their money.
Right.
But Luigi
How do people?
he's a hero.
How do people actually justify the Democrats? It's not. I don't even know how.
But there are a lot of people.
It's okay to kill someone.
Crocker, there are a lot of people, these idiot ass kids, okay, who. How is Luigi the poster child for taking a position? He's not. Luigi's an idiot. Luigi should be getting the death penalty. He shot a man in the back, right?
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me.
He should be getting we should be talking about giving him a shot or putting some electricity on him. But they got these fools out here thinking Luigi is somebody now.
Well, yeah, they make him a celebrity.
They're wanting to make him a martyr, and I think it's unfortunate because you got young people who agree with it. And it's getting pushed in these kids' heads from professors at these universities who are selling this bag of goods, who are getting paid. from all of us.
Scott said that the reason children are behaving this way is because a lot of them nowadays haven't had to hear the belt clearing those belt loops at high rates of speeds. And
That's
come
real.
crashing
That's real.
at them.
That's real. That's real. Thank you, Scott, because you're right.
Miller, you got that belt, didn't you?
Come on, dude. I got my ass toe up.
Yeah.
Okay, I used to hide the. I used to hide the belt.
Branch and Barrel, Gonzo. Tell everybody about this.
Branch and Barrel, the best whiskey coming out of Colorado. I'll tell you that for sure.
You got any?
Yeah, I'm drinking it right now, actually.
Oh, you look like you drank the last of it. I appreciate you waiting for me to get here.
And don't worry, we got the best cigars, Mesa cigar guys, right here with us. So thank you guys.
Absolutely. Jared?
It's that time of year, Christmas, Blackheart gear,
I'm here.
Turvis tumblers available. Look at what's coming. You said Gonzo, it was wintertime in Florida.
It's time to go to blackheartgear.com. Link is down in the description. Go check out what we got going on over there in the shop.
Nice.
All right, guys.
Yeah,
Well,
that's a nice
John,
shirt.
one of the things I wanted to talk to you about tonight, the reason I asked you, because you are very in tune in what happens in Chicago. What is your opinion of a crime-ridden city to where the mayor is saying he is not going to remove illegal immigrants?
It's simple. He's doing what he's told to do, and
Who's telling him that, Don?
the federal government's telling that. Who you think is telling that? But
What federal government?
But you got to
Did
listen.
Listen to Kamala Harris talk today.
Listen to me.
That was the biggest shit of gibberish I've heard.
Let me just say this. Everything Brandon Johnson is doing will change in January, okay? He will become a total clown. He will run and hide. He may resign as mayor of Chicago.
Also, keep in mind, Kamala Harris is not the federal government. She's simply a mouthpiece.
Yes. So there are people who still go to work every day and press buttons and tell people what to do. And Brandon Johnson looked over to New York and saw what happened to that mayor when he raised his hand and called bullshit. And Brandon Johnson was like, no, I ain't going out like that.
Yeah, he's gonna get in line.
You did hear where they asked Trump what he would do, and he said, look, this isn't about politics. I will pardon Adams if he's convicted.
He said that?
Yes, sir.
And he should pardon him. And that's the point. Look, Adams made one mistake. He thought he was in when he really wasn't. You had one job, Mr. Adams. Do what the hell we tell you to do. He raised his hand when he saw what was happening to the city that he loves. He said, whoa, I didn't know it was going down like this. You know, you told us you're going to send us a few thousand illegals. You'd have seen us 200,000 illegals.
Well, Texas did that, not the federal government.
Listen to
That
me.
was the thing that raised the stakes in the game.
Up in New York, no matter who sent them. That's why they were caught. If they were just sent by Texas to New York would not have had the financial means to house them at the number in which they did. They were putting them in hotels. They were taking care of them. They were feeding them. And the money was a record number. It was a gigantic number.
Well, and the reason it was New York and not anywhere else is because New York is one of those states that has super relaxed laws about it. And
Yeah.
corruption there in New York is going to allow it to happen.
It's a sanctuary city. It's a city that has a history of sideways deals, as does Chicago. You go look at those type of cities. Why not go to those cities? Why not play on cities where you know the level of corruption has historically been significantly high?
And it's not just New York. It's like we have Aurora, Colorado.
Right.
What's happening there?
yeah.
Chicago, like you said.
Yeah, so
We talked about Aurora, Colorado 2 months ago. What do you mean? There is no crime there. There are no illegals there.
In Aurora, Colorado?
What do you mean? You said this
Yeah.
a few times that there
we
is.
saw the video. We've seen it. And the mayor said, man, I don't know what you guys, hands off. But yesterday, 15 people in the same apartment building kidnapped 2 individuals. One was stabbed. And now the mayor and the police chief are saying no.
You're saying that they were
It's a
covering.
double-edged sword. If you're going to walk on the razor, you're going to get cut. So be careful what you ask for.
No, I think what's happening in Chicago, I think Brandon Johnson knows that his political career is over now, and he's riding it out. I would not again be surprised that if he resigns in January. It's a no-win situation. The only reason he hasn't raised his hands because he saw what they did to Adams in New York, and he knows they have something on him, and he's just going to ride it out. He's probably scared. I get it. But he also is a bullshitter, and he's a POS, okay? And he doesn't care about the people and the whole gamut. But so I'm looking forward to watching what happens to him. He's a clown, and clowns get clowned. And you'll watch. That's what's going to happen.
Well, the circus is going to start in January, and there's a new guy with a top hat that JB really likes.
Really
And I'm
likes.
hoping that he comes in and fulfills what he has sold to all. And I really hope that Elon Musk and Vivek go in and really truly do something instead of just talk about it.
Doge.
I think that Congress should visit anything and everything that they suggest with an up or down vote and not put it in all of the shit that happens in D.C. and it goes months, no answer. Don, you're familiar with D.C. What do you think?
Well, I'm looking. This is going to be an interesting few months. I think a lot of moves are going to be made. I think we have to wait and pay attention to. There are going to be at least a couple of people that have a really tough ride to confirmation. I am not convinced that the gentleman from Fox News is
And
going
that's
to,
bullshit.
gonna
I'm
be
going to
confirmed.
call this out right now.
Well, I hear you.
Everybody that gives a damn about America, all four of us right here, Pete Hegseth, he'll strip down to his skivvies, swim in the river with the Navy SEALs. He is a real man. He has fought for America. Who gives a damn if he drank too much one night? Who gives a damn if he patted some woman on the ass and got a piece? Who cares? He is a warrior who wants to fight for America. Put him in there because everybody else couldn't swim 50 yards.
I know you may not give a damn, and there are a lot of people who don't give a damn, but we're living in an interesting time now. The fact that he got drunk, okay, shit happens. But the fact that you say who cares that he patted a woman on the ass? I kind of care if she didn't want him to pat her on the ass. You know what I mean?
I care about that.
I feel like I kind of care about that. You know?
I agree with that.
Should he lose his job? Well, I think Gonzo and myself would lose our job or the potential job if somebody found out we patted an ass without permission.
I think the whole thing is like
trying to
we
make 'em-
see this happen again and again where
Yeah.
there's allegations
Yep.
10, 20 years after the fact, and it only happens because they rise to a position of power. That I understand. But, yeah, I mean,
It's no
like,
different, Gonzo. Gonzo, this week, a woman who destroyed 3 Duke lacrosse players.
Yeah.
Live.
Yeah.
it happens all the time.
You got to
Yeah.
stop buying this shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, but again, you know, the whole Duke lacrosse thing, if you go back to that,
You know who did that, right, Don?
yeah, but I knew
Roy
about
Cooper.
I was
Roy
on
Cooper, the
I was
governor of North
I
Carolina.
was on the
right now,
air.
is the one who let all that go.
I was on the air when that happened, and me and Holly and Ted Figueroa, I think, and we all called BS on that. And the problem is when Al Sharpton got involved, that's when it went south. The thing about, let's just get back to Pete. I think Pete has served this country, and he does a solid job as a broadcaster. But you have to understand that there are people out here who are looking for a reason to come at Trump. I also believe that the chief of staff, Susie, who I know for a fact is a solid person, well thought out, but really brilliant, is playing chess while a lot of people are playing checkers.
Exactly.
Okay? They knew that Gates would not be confirmed.
Exactly.
They knew he wouldn't. There was no chance he wouldn't be confirmed. Absolutely no chance,
Yeah.
right? For
Look
those of us who live in this area know for a fact, because the guy around the corner who was in prison now was his running buddy.
Was Greenberg?
Yeah. So we knew the stories before the national media knew the stories, right? So they knew he wouldn't be confirmed. But they also knew that had he stayed in Congress and this hits the fan, they got a problem on their hands too. So why not nominate him for the position of Attorney General, knowing he's not going to be confirmed, and getting him to resign from Congress? That's called a couple of birds with one stone, right? Mm-hmm. There's no way the guy was going.
He personally came out on the better side of this.
Well, no, you know what? No. He got a job. Does that make it the better side? So I don't know. Just being hired. John Morgan he likes names. He also wants a footprint in the Panhandle, and they love Matt in the Panhandle.
Well, he's a big marketing guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So don't think he thinks that Matt Gaetz is some brilliant attorney. Please no. Matt Gaetz is beloved in the Panhandle. I know this because I was on the radio in that area.
And you're loved in the Panhandle.
They love me in the Panhandle, but I love them as well. So John Morgan knows what John's presence in the Panhandle, Morgan and Morgan, which they're already there, this is not gonna hurt. And the guy is probably going to be able to help him in an area of law that he probably doesn't have a lot of people working in. So I think it's brilliant what John Morgan has done. But Matt landed on his feet. He should be glad that he landed on his feet, guys. I'm telling you, if you read some of the stuff in the Greenberg indictment, that was pretty salacious.
It's scary.
That was pretty salacious. We're talking about a
Lewd
guy.
acts.
We're talking about a guy going in the DMV at night making driver's license for underage girls. That's in the indictment. And then hanging out with a United States congressman. So please.
Gonzo flagship bourbon.
He's transitioning drinks now.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna fall out over there. So no.
Don Miller.
So I don't know about Pete, but I think he's not a terrible person for the job, but I do think DeSantis would be better.
Why do you? I am a big fan of DeSantis, but I think DeSantis could shoot himself in the foot by taking this.
I think what Don said earlier is absolutely correct. They're playing chess. They're making certain moves for a reason. Obviously, the media is going to cover everything they do. If they move a glass an inch over,
Right.
they're going to cover it.
Right.
So they're doing everything with a reason, and a lot's going to change from now until January, and then a lot's going to change from January till March until the end of the year. So a lot is going to happen. There's going to be a lot of buzz for the next 2-4 years. And at the end of the day, I think results are going to get done with this new incoming administration. We just have to be patient and wait and see what happens.
I think what we're watching is all about
Robb
moves.
Crocker wants Pete Hexteth in this role.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
I think it's time that you take an individual who has experienced what he's experienced and will fight for the servicemen and women of this country in a different light. That's just my opinion, and I appreciate Don's, but I agree with him. I think DeSantis would do a good job too. I just think I don't think Pete should be ruled out unless he actually did something wrong.
Well, we'll see what happens. I'm telling you, even though Trump won by a large margin, there's still detractors in the Senate, and I can assure you,
The House.
yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think picking the right person that you know can get confirmed in a situation like this is more important than just picking somebody because of you think that they may be the best person. I think getting people in that can do the job, that understand the mission, and that are loyal to you, Trump has seen people who were not loyal to him before. He's not making those same mistakes, I can promise you. Mm-hmm. So he's taking his time. He's letting his chief of staff, who I can tell you again is brilliant, pick people that she knows that, for the most part, will be confirmed. The question will be Kennedy, guys, and that should be the question. I don't believe – I think the guy we just talked about is going to be challenging, but I think Kennedy may be challenging as well.
Really? Because Kennedy, when they did a poll this weekend, he was one of the favorite nominee that Trump has made so far across the board.
But according to who? Because if it's according to the people, it makes sense. But at the end of the day, it's not really up to us.
Right. Okay. So do you understand how the Democrats feel about Kennedy in the Senate and in the House?
Believe me, I do.
Okay. So it's up to them. Now, I'm a big Kennedy fan. I like him. But I'm telling you, when you have to maneuver and give something up, in these confirmation moves, you got to give something up oftentimes. And so they're cutting back.
Well, I think there'll be a lot of pissed off people if he does not get confirmed.
And guess what? Can I tell you? The challenge is, this is the challenge. He may not get confirmed because of some of the position he's taken that's going to affect multinational conglomerates. And this money that many of these people receive during campaign cycles are coming from multinational conglomerates. When you start talking about the food is poisoning Americans because the food is poisoning Americans, that is going to affect. If you go to opensecrets.org and you look at the food industry and look who in the food industry gives donations to who, that will tell you right there that this is going to be a tough situation because the food in America is poisoning us.
What?
Right?
What do you mean? You go to the box of Fruit Loops and you can't decipher any ingredient that's in that box?
Well, that's why I go with Cheerios, because they don't have food dye in them, so they're way better.
That's why I could tell you both of them too expensive. I stopped eating cereal because the prices went up.
I stopped eating it because it's not nutritious.
At all.
I don't remember the last time I actually had cereal.
What do you mean? You don't remember when you ate Fruity Pebbles?
It's probably been like 20 years.
Yeah. But you were eating it.
Longer than that for me.
But it's like eggs. People don't realize, you think eggs are nutritious, but the chickens eat feed that has been implemented with all the stuff that's gone.
Don't do that right now. Don't throw eggs off, man. I love eggs.
I love eggs. I love chicken. I love steak. The best thing that I can say is it ain't as good as those damn pork chops down the last time I was in Florida.
True.
Miss Kim.
Kim's
Good
cooking.
pork chops. You can't go wrong with them. You been there lately?
Nah, man, I kind of don't eat that type of food anymore. I'm getting older, and my body told me that I got to stand down and eat more nutritious food.
Is this your New Year's resolutions talking?
No, this was about 2 months ago when I got lightheaded.
So what are you eating now, Don?
Oh man, I'm being saying I eat the same thing anyway. I eat vegetables. I eat the same thing. Anybody knows me will tell you I eat the vegetables and I eat chicken. You know, every now and then I have a steak.
The collard greens are vineyard.
Collard greens. Yeah, that's. I walk in the door. They don't have to say what you eat. Now I've been on the catfish lately. Have you had the catfish?
Not yet, no.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. The catfish is good, but there's just too many other options.
Yeah, you're right.
Just like you have a choice to get some Blackheart gear for Christmas for you and your better half, Gonzo.
Which one's the better half?
The 3-year lady.
Oh, her, yeah.
Not JB.
Sorry about that.
All right, guys. I want to talk about something that's kind of this time of year. I've watched the Neil, better known as NIL, name, image, and likeness. And Don and I've he understands how it bothers me. College football right now. When it gets to a certain time, you have to declare whether you want to be entered into the transfer portal. But it is devastating college football programs who aren't in the top 12. And I'll use Marshall out of West Virginia as the example. Great for the college coach. He got a new job at Southern Miss. He took the job, but over 70% of his players went into the portal, and they can't play in the bowl game. So the college, all the kids, all the students suffer, and they lose money. And I understand you have a short span, but you're not, the kids are in a situation to where they have to make a decision before the second semester starts is why they have to do that. So is there a way in your mind, Don, to change the rules to where you can prolong it until after the bowl games? Is there a way to not detrimentally hurt the product that me and you love?
Well, I can tell you, what happened at Marshall is just the beginning of what's going to start happening a lot. I don't really watch football like I used to. I'm kind of like not interested, especially the pros. I'm done. But NIL, name and likeness, name, image, likeness, is going to see a real quick slam on the brakes here in the next few years, because I thought the concept was a good concept out of the gate. But I'm looking at what's happening, and I don't think they understood it would get out of control like this. So when you see, and the portal's got to be addressed too. When you see an entire team leave because the coach left, then that sends a heck of a message. And you have to understand college football, and I want all these people to hear me on this. Nobody's going to play at the University of Colorado. They're going to play for Deion Sanders. Nobody went to Alabama because they wanted to play at Alabama. They went to play for Nick Saban. This is how it is. These young people attach themselves to these coaches. This is why when coaches leave, you see a lot of kids oftentimes leave. But this amount of kids was crazy. But this coach, they love this coach. This is their guy. He came in into a struggling program and built this program from scratch. I'm not surprised that they're all. Doesn't surprise me. And now I think colleges have to make a decision. Do you even want a coach to be this kind of person, would have this kind of relationships with your guys? UCF just did something I thought was baffling and go back and get Scott Frost. What is that about? He just failed at another college job after he dumped on you and went to that job. And now you go get him because you didn't have any options, quite frankly. He was doing TV somewhere or assistant coach somewhere on somebody's sideline, and you go get him. I think there has to be a restructuring of how it all works. It's embarrassing. You look at Deion. If Deion leaves Colorado, it's a wrap for Colorado. So the problem is that these young people attach themselves to these coaches, and that's how do you fix that? I don't know if you can.
Well, as you both know, I'm very excited about Bill Belichick going to the University of North Carolina. And the greatest line he said that impressed me the most, I did not come here to leave. Now, whether that's true or not, because the college game is different, and I'm excited to see. I don't know. I think he actually wants to see if he can win a national championship. That might be more of a challenge to him than anything that he's been going through. But like Don just said, the kids are going for the coach. They're not going for the anymore. And Carolina has Jordan, They have the brand. So we'll see how it works out.
Well, let me just say this, right? I think this is very important that I say this in this. Bill Belichick is a 72-year-old guy.
With a 24-year-old girlfriend.
Absolutely. And and to think that he is going to build a championship team at the university, and they have resources. They have significant resources. It's going to take a while. But he is going to get a lot of players who want to play for NFL coach. Because one of the things about college coaching is a lot of guys want to be developed by guys who won before at the next level.
It's a career move.
So he is really going to – so it's going to be surprising that he's going to get a lot of guys. But he's a real coach. I don't know if he's going to stay there 2 or 3 years. But I think it was an interesting move, and if you read the contract, that's when it really gets tricky. He still has the ability to dip out if the right scenario comes along. And it's a very well-written contract. I'm pretty sure Jimmy Sexton, this sounds like a Jimmy Sexton was an agent out of Memphis, Tennessee, probably did that deal. But he's Belichick. And going to a college job at 72 with your 24-year-old girlfriend, all I could do is applaud the cat.
Dave McNeil said that UCF went back to their toxic ex.
Mm-hmm.
The bounce house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
So after the best season,
entertaining,
think
guys.
about this, guys. After the best season UCF had ever had, right, in the history of the program, and you love this guy, and he's your guy, and he tells you, hey, I'm going to go back and take the job at the school that I was a quarterback at, and I guess people say, well, that was the school he was the quarterback at, but he goes to the school he was the quarterback at, and he shits himself, right? Totally shits himself. Just horrible.
Hate that.
Right?
Yeah.
Can't recruit. Just boom. And that's the biggest stage this guy's been on. Okay? Nebraska, that's a bigger stage than UCF probably will ever get to, and from a football perspective.
One step at a time. UCF's, one step at a time.
Okay, all right. Well, they keep making the decisions they've been making. It's going to be a longer time.
Yeah.
The fact is, I don't know how you go back to that guy. But again, it's all broken, man. There are people who think Deion Sanders is a great coach, and that's a joke. But it's broken.
Do you realize today, in the small world that we all live in, Norfolk State is going to hire Michael Vick as their next football coach?
Okay.
Michael Vick was probably one of the best quarterbacks I ever watched live playing. It was incredible to watch him run. It was incredible to watch him pass. And unfortunately, he made several decisions that hurt him. But I think he has learned from his mistakes. And I'm ready to see someone go back in time and do well.
Well, we'll see what
In his
happens.
hometown.
But I have a lot of respect for Michael Vick, and I recognize what he went through. A lot of people were turned off by that situation, but that the people also didn't understand the cultural aspect of that, And so he did his time. He came out. He's cleaned his life up. He's done extremely well cleaning his life up. And I think Norfolk State has really gotten someone that can really help that program, because I like Michael Vick as a coach much better than Deion Sanders. And I think he's going to be able to talk to young men about making decisions for sure. And I always believe that a coach should be a lot more than just a guy calling the plays out on the field, especially considering a lot of these young guys come from difficult situations. So I applaud Michael Vick.
Yeah, like a senior mentor.
I think it's great, Don. I completely agree with you. And I think that Coach Prime landed in the right spot for him in Colorado. But I think if he were to be in a different dynamic, I don't think the situation would be the same for him, to where he could do the advertising in making the money that he's making. And I thought it was great Travis Hunter won the Heisman, and I look forward to seeing his son play in the NFL. Maybe he'll end up with the Raiders, and Coach Prime will be the coach there. Who knows?
Hey, it is what it is. I just.
What turned you off, Don? When did you get to the point where you don't give a shit about sports?
I spent 20 plus years of my life in it, as you know. And one of the reasons why I got turned off by Deion Sanders is, you talk about, you hit everybody with the Jesus curveball. And the Lord sent you to Jackson State and all that nonsense. And then you go to Colorado and you have every debaucherous rapper known to man on the sidelines. Makes sense of that to me. If you're trying to get these young men to look at life from a different perspective, why do you have a guy whose music has demeaned women, talked heavily about drugs and crime? Why is this guy on your sideline, sir? And the fact of the matter is because it's all bullshit. And I call bullshit. Unfortunately, people are emotional and not informational, and they just like what sounds like a good story. And we'll see what happens.
Well, the best part about sitting here with you guys, I'm not watching the Carolina basketball game, but they were down heavy to Florida, and now they're leading 72-68.
Shame.
Always remember, Carolina is a basketball school.
Well, not anymore. You got Bill Belichick at $10 million a year.
Hey, that won't bother me if we become a football school, Miller. You know that, right?
No, we'll see.
We'll go to games. But let's spin it around. I don't know if anybody's been paying attention, have looked up in the sky, but there's drones flying over the southeastern, northeastern United States. Have any of you guys seen any?
I saw one in Lake Mary the other day.
You did?
Were you flying it?
No, that's no, not mine. No, but I did see it at the official Lake Mary sign, close to the road, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I have it on camera too.
Just flying a small one?
Yeah, it's a small one,
That's
but it
something.
looks just like the ones on TV.
Really?
Yeah, like that one right there.
Oh, okay. That's a drone. Yeah, but okay, go ahead, Crocker.
So, why is no one telling us what this is?
I think they well, what I'm understanding from people that I know very well, there is a situation that has everybody up in arms right now. There is some missing. There's a missing nuke, pretty much. And no, for real.
No, come on, Miller.
For real. Have you heard this?
Yes,
Yeah,
I have actually.
yes. Yeah.
And these drones are our drones that are heat seeking, and this is real. And they don't want to tell people because think about it, President Trump was like, "Yeah, shoot it down." Then he came back and was like, because they told him.
Right.
And
Because
so
they do know.
They do know. There's no way the country, United States of America, is going to have hundreds of things flying over a major city. And see, the problem is they're so confused and the whole system is so messed up that they should have had a plan to, but they wasn't expecting this. So now they're out there trying to find whatever they're looking for, and it's a problem.
According to Scott, it's potentially plutonium. But did you see the statement, the joint statement they released? Mm-hmm. Like the FBI and all them, it's basically saying that, well, if you take into account all of the privately owned drones, all the government-owned drones, all the testing they're doing, I mean, just take those numbers into account. There's no way we can track them all. We don't see any threat. So, I mean, it's basically just everyone flying their drones on at the same time. So that's essentially what they
over
said.
the same area.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Here is the greatest detriment to humankind.
the FBI.
When a person goes outside
Close.
and does not know what's going on, what would happen if that drone just instantaneously started shooting it?
It depends. Is rent still due tomorrow?
It won't be if you're dead, Gonzo.
You know what's
And your
interesting?
your 3-year relationship will be gone.
Let me tell you what's interesting, and I just want people, and I'm not going to go too deep into this. I'm hearing that they've seen these drones fly over military installations. Let me just say this. Any drone flying over a military installation has been cleared by the DOD. Yes or no?
Mini levels, yeah.
Okay, right?
Yeah.
So all that nonsense about a random ass drone flying
Right.
over an Air Force base, right, Patterson in Ohio.
It's Timmy's early Christmas
Yeah,
present.
come on, okay? Ain't no drone. They will shoot it down quicker than you can. If you fly a plane over some of these restricted areas, they will shoot you down. These areas are restricted for a reason. So for anybody to think that the DOD and all these other agencies, oops, there's some 500 drones flying over there. Come on. They have already communicated the mission, and it has been signed off on. Yes or no?
Yeah.
If drones are flying at that level over any major city with bases near it, they're going to press the button and scramble fighter jets. Yes or no?
Yes.
Don't think for 1 minute that this hasn't been cleared.
Well, remember when the spy balloon came over?
Right.
How quickly that was taken care of.
Right. And they...
What do you mean? How quickly? It
No.
fucking went all across the United
But
States.
they-
Gonzo.
they-
It was less than a day. It was quicker than this fiasco.
But they knew...
Dude,
they
no,
knew
it
that was...
over
No, no.
Alaska.
They knew that was
It
a
went
spot.
all
They
the
knew what
way
was happening.
Over till South Carolina.
I am not convinced that they wasn't already tapped into any communications with that spy balloon. They knew what was happening.
So you're not worried that this is anything bigger than the government doing something?
I'm not worried that this is a outside of America situation. I'm not. These are not people.
Well, what's going on when they say that they're overseas as well?
What do you mean?
Over Germany.
Okay, because who knows what's over Germany?
well, I'm assuming that this is not just an issue in the
Here's the
United
problem,
States. I think this
guys.
is an issue that has been
Here's
spread
the problem, Gonzo.
to other countries as
Yeah.
well.
Gonzo, here's the problem. When you're not honest with the American people, like I said earlier, fear escalates. What would happen if it actually was something alien, which I don't believe, but something to that magnitude, and it happens?
Well, if that's the case,
People have to remember, COVID hurt all of our trust into the government.
right? But they knew exactly what they were doing. If these drones were enemy drones, they would also know that and take care of it, unless it was by design.
Right.
But to your point, yeah, I understand. People do not trust the mainstream media. They don't trust the federal government, the agencies, all that. But at the same time, what are they going to do about it? Nothing changes. Nothing happens. So at the end of the day, rent's due tomorrow. I'm going to work. I'm going to pay rent. And if a drone flies over my house, maybe I'll shoot it. But outside of that, I'm not going to New Jersey to take care of the situation myself.
And you know what else? And when you look at this, we have some people some enemies that don't look highly on us, that have high level technology just like we have. For some reason, there are people who think other people ain't got technology. Listen, Iran they have technology. I
Probably
promise
ours,
you.
but
You realize there's a ship
Guess
off
where they
the
got it
coast
from?
of New Jersey right now.
Guess where they got it from? Us,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
because we're the pioneers.
Right. No, actually, but we
Yeah,
sell
yeah.
our products, right? So I think I just want people to be careful and be paying attention, and watch. I think it's something to at least pay attention to.
Google drone crash, median. Go ahead.
You see the drone crash in the middle of the street?
I haven't. We're looking it up.
Yeah. So again, the drone thing is real. I just want people to pay
But
attention.
every drone that is flown is supposedly registered with the FAA. So how are they not tracking it and able to tell us what's going on?
Because they already know. They're just not going to tell us.
They're not telling us. They already know. If one of these drones with that level of threat, they would zap it out of the air so damn quick. And they would zap it out of the air from space and not from on the ground. Do you understand the technology we have hovering above us?
The point is that they know exactly what it
Don,
is,
I
and
don't.
the reason they're
We
not
can't
doing
even- We
anything.
can't even keep a train on the track.
Dude, we have a whole look. We live in Florida. Every week, what are they doing across the street? They sending up something. Every week, there's
Yeah.
2 a week. They're sending up
No.
something to
Who
space.
is?
Huh?
Elon Musk.
Okay.
Not NASA, not any of this other bullshit.
Uh-huh.
And then you got Pocahontas today saying there's a conflict of interest by having Elon Musk on Doge. I'm going to go back to the same scenario that I say over and over and over again. Term limits, term limits, term limits. You got to get the political lifetimers out of D.C.
Thankfully, a lot of
And
them are
no one
starting to
has
die
the
out.
balls to do it.
Well, for term limits, you got to get themselves to vote themselves out. That's what the
issue is.
chicken and egg problem is.
What's that, JB?
It's a chicken and egg problem. You're asking them to vote themselves out by applying term limits to their own jobs.
You're asking the people to vote for people who run on that, and this is where we got to get.
Hey,
We can't have people who stay in Washington D.C. 30 and 40 years who go there with a couple $100,000 and leave with $20 million. It just doesn't make sense.
Scott just said we don't have lasers in space. Scott, are you familiar with the HAARP program? HAARP? You can't tell. So what are we just sending up? What are we sending up every 2 weeks? Just TV channels, some satellites, so we can watch more porn? No, I promise you. What you think? Do you think we have?
We need a whole other hour for this.
But do you think so?
Not for porn, no.
No. But do you think we have that type of technology in space?
I think we have a type of technology somewhere.
In the sky somewhere.
Yeah, in the
Somewhere
sky.
in the sky.
Somewhere in the
Yeah.
sky.
Would
Let's
you
go
agree with that?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, yes, that's my point. So,
Balloons.
believe me, the HAARP program is a real program.
Yeah.
Okay, the HAARP program many years ago was designed as a weather modification program. You familiar with it?
I don't think that it's in space, though. I think it's housed here on Earth.
But I think it can go into the air.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Yes.
100%, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay.
So is that what we said destroyed Western North Carolina?
Pretty much.
I
Possibly.
never saw a hurricane
But
just
still
hit the
suffer.
brakes.
By the way. So, I don't know. Don, I agree with you. I think that the United States of America has technology that could solve the problem. It really sucks that we don't have anyone at the White House. Donald Trump's done more press conferences since he was been elected than Joe Biden's done this past year.
4 years.
All right.
And 8 including VP.
But think about this. When was the last time you guys have seen the general in charge of the DOD?
I honestly didn't think we had one anymore.
Where is
Lloyd
he?
Austin?
Has anybody seen Lloyd?
Not since he got out of the hospital.
Lloyd was like, hey, this is way too much for me. Nobody has seen or heard from Lloyd. Where's Lloyd?
The one I feel sorry for is the press secretary.
Why would you feel sorry for
No. No.
him? Man,
I don't feel
want to
sorry
hear
for
this.
him.
No.
That's going to be good. Why you feel sorry for her?
I don't want to get canceled.
No,
Too late.
tell me why
But
you feel
she's
sorry
like,
for her.
she literally is like buckwheat.
That's racist. Don't feel
No,
sorry for her and then
that's why
call her
you're
buckwheat.
here.
That ain't why I'm here. But if you think she's
Hold
doing
on,
a
let me
shit
finish,
job,
Let me finish.
okay, I think she's doing a shit job.
Buckwheat trying to speak for the little rascal. it's the damnedest thing you've ever seen. And I think a lot of people at the end of Biden's presidency, when he pardons his whole family, that's when the wheels of the bus are going to come off. Because he's gonna pardon his brother. He's going to pardon Jill. He will pardon everybody that has a Biden name. He will not have a choice. Agree or disagree, Don?
Yeah, I think he's going to pardon a lot of people. I am also, I think he's going to pardon a lot of. I think he has pardoned a lot of
racist.
people.
I'm not a racist individual. I got to take offense to that, Miller.
Okay, well, I think you got
better than that.
I know, but the other people watching this shit may not know that. Okay, so I got to speak on.
Tell them.
Okay, yeah. Now I'm your spoke. Now I'm your buckwheat. Fuck out of here. Now I'm his buckwheat. Y'all need to leave it alone. No, but I understood the analogy for sure. She is out here trying to speak on behalf of a guy that can't speak on his own behalf. Okay,
But she can't speak on her.
but
own
she
behalf.
can't speak on her own behalf, and it's unfortunate. But feeling sorry for somebody who's making that kind of money to show up and do a shit job, hell no. Okay, she's.
How much money did she make, Don? What is that?
I think
More than us.
what does the press secretary make? Probably about 196.
Hold on, Gonzo. Producing of the Robb Crocker show, you're doing better than that.
I should be getting paid more then.
What did she make?
Yeah, it's up there. It's like I think 180ish.
Yeah, it's high. It's
Something like
It's high hundreds, close to 200.
Yeah, I would say
But
so.
that's not a lot of money in D.C., Don.
Especially to get publicly humiliated.
But yeah, right. But I think this may not be a lot of money now, but the platform propels you to real money. When she leaves there, somebody's going to hire her. She's going to have a big ass
Hey,
job.
Gonzo, JB, what does Jen Psaki make for MSNBC now?
Couple of million.
So what you just said, Don, is correct.
Yeah, couple of million. Jen's might, but what happens is they take these jobs. What is it?
You're the wrong person.
Oh,
They
sorry.
okay, they take these jobs, and this job is just to get to the next level. So I have no respect for her. She's a clown, and for her to stand and defend, but that's her job. So she chose that job. A lot of people don't respect her, but I think she's done a hell of a job speaking on behalf of somebody that can't speak on behalf of themselves.
JB, you know what time of night it is? It's
Uh-oh.
time to walk the plank. What you got?
I think we should walk the plank. You being sick, and I think we should walk the plank. All the Christmas shopping I had to do this week and still have to do.
What'd you get me?
I don't know yet.
What'd you get me?
Well, I was gonna get you some whiskey, but you're pretty stocked up.
Well, Gonzo knows where the best whiskey comes from. Branch and
Kentucky.
Barrel.
What?
Denver, Colorado. There you go.
Okay.
Don, what you got to get off your shift this week?
Man, I'm just counting down the days till we have a president in the White House that's
Yeah.
gonna make me sleep better.
Exactly.
Gonzo, what you got?
Holiday madness.
Oh gosh.
It's like I can't leave the house anymore without almost getting into a car accident.
Right now it's terrible.
It is terrible right now.
Well, being the captain of the ship, there's so many things that I want to get away from all of us. I think it's a shame that we have 15-year-old children, young girls, that are struggling, and their parents don't see it, can't identify it, and feel the need to grab a gun and go to school and hurt innocent people, then take her own life. I think us as a society should be in a position to where that doesn't happen. And we can put all the metal detectors at all the schools, but that doesn't mean that a child or a person isn't hurting. And I think we be able to figure that out and identify that and help them.
Good one. Great stuff.
I don't know. Our Christmas schedule, Gonzo, you tell me what we got going on between now and the holidays.
We'll figure it out, and we'll keep the people posted on social media. If you go to the Robb Crocker Show on social media, also check the links in our bio and in our YouTube channel. Everything's going to be there. You can get yourself some Blackheart gear and follow us on social media to stay updated with what we're doing over here on our end. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can stay updated with when we upload new episodes, new podcasts, live streams. Again, social media so you can stay updated. Check out Blackheart Gear. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye,
Hey,
everybody.
don't forget Cigar Guys.
Of course. Also in the description.
All right,
Check
guys,
us out.
great show.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night.